Whitestone Ceremony. Whitestone is a special ceremony that Unity has been doing for many, many years. And Laura Payton, our prayer chaplain, will be explaining that a little bit more to you. But part of it is about renewal and forgiveness. So please enjoy the music of Vivian Martin as she takes us into that heartfelt space.
There's a, oh, check, 1, 2. Am I muted? Oh, that was so beautiful, wasn't it?
I'm on. Yeah. Check, 1, 2. All right. Well, that was so nice. I get to do it all again. There's a sweetness in surrender when we see beyond our scars. It's not the things in life that we've been through that make us who we are. There's a freedom in forgiveness when we learn to just let go. Holding on so tight won't change a thing, and changes how we grow. Learning to live and learning to forgive ourselves by forgiving ourselves. We learn to forgive someone else. We find a way. There's a freedom in forgiveness when we learn to just let go. Holding on so tight won't change a thing, and changes how we grow. There's a life that beckons to us as we open up our hearts, a gentle place of peace and gratitude, where we feel precious love. Learning to live and learning to forgive ourselves by forgiving ourselves. We learn to forgive someone else. We find a way. We find the way. We find a way. We know the way.
Oh, wow. There's a part of me that doesn't even want to speak after that. Thank you. We know the way. And here you are to share in the Whitestone Ceremony today. My name is Laura Payton. I'm part of the prayer chaplain team here, and I'm usually part of the music team when I'm not doing something here on the podium on this side of the stage. and it's my delight to be your guide on this Whitestone Ritual Day. And you may have heard or read about the Whitestone practice in Roman times. It was a custom to give prisoners who had served their sentence, who were being released from prison, a white stone to show that they were free. A white stone that they could write a new name on a new beginning. Only people who were free would be given such a white stone. They didn't get papers or documentation, but a white stone. As I said, a stone to write a new name on. This meant that everything in the past was complete. They had served their sentence, and as such, they were free. Free to start their new life. The white stone is mentioned in a verse found in the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 17. Let anyone who has an ear listen to what the Spirit is saying to the churches. To everyone who conquers or overcomes, I will give some of the hidden manna, and I will give a white stone, and on this white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it. Metaphysician Emily Katie, in her book Lessons in Truth, which is a much-loved unity book written in 1903, speaks about this verse. She focuses on the word manna, which means the word of God, as being heard in the secret place of the Most High that is within each of us, where Spirit, Source, the indwelling Christ that is living through us resides, and that Spirit has a message for each one of us. It's from these powerful references that two unity ministers, Reverends David and Gay Williamson, created this transformative ritual called Whitestone Ceremony. Today, if you choose, because it's all about choice, we claim the freedom that's given in this deeply spiritual, for me, deeply spiritual teaching of the white stone. I'll take you through a process of opening the heart and letting the mind be servant to the heart. This is not a mind exercise. Like last week, if you were here, we said it was not a mind exercise. It's about getting into the heart and letting this secret place, your secret, sacred place, give you the word that is going to be written on the white stone. This ceremony is a way to enter the new year with a clean slate. Some of you began this process last week with the burning bowl ceremony, when you wrote down what you were ready to release or transform, and you burned it in the burning bowl. Today, this Whitestone ceremony is about freedom, about moving past ways in your life that no longer serve you, moving past the limiting thoughts, beliefs, contracts, vows, and covenants, moving past your beliefs about what you can and cannot be, do, and have in your life. Sometimes our lives change and we are challenged. A significant relationship ends. A loved one makes their physical transition to the other side of the veil. We lose a job. We lose our home. A good friend leaves. There's more month than money. Yeah. And in these human experiences, we are called to rise above our human circumstances. We are called to overcome the untruths about who we believe we are and to see ourselves and our lives differently. Each of us has overcome adversity of some kind. I would say everyone in this room has had more than one adversity, no matter what age you're sitting at the moment. Perhaps you're in the midst of an adversity right now, perhaps a very major one, that is shaking you to your core, perhaps. A breakdown of the old. You might notice this happening out in the world as well, in the world of politics and big business and whatnot. That the old is being broken down in order to allow a breakthrough of a sacredly evolved version of you and your life. And when change or loss barges through our door, our mind can become flooded with fears and limiting beliefs. And this, what if this is actually the gift of adversity? Often we don't even realize we have certain beliefs until we're challenged and they come up and they're right in our face, and we might say, holy smokes, I didn't even know that this was a driving force of my life. And in our fear-based conditioning and subsequent fear-based reactions, we may find ourselves crying out, why is this happening? I don't know what to do. How will I manage on my own? When will this ever get better? I could tell you about the times in my life that have challenged me, with the death of my father, the journey with my mother's cancer to her death, to the decision of ending a long-term marriage, having the imprinting of a Second World War vet father. Loved him deeply, and he was deeply, deeply affected by his time liberating Holland, and never recovered from that before he made his transition. And that had an effect on all of the family, of course. I could tell you about the discovery of recognizing my grandfather was a pedophile, and that I was one of his chosen ones. I could tell you about all that. I could tell you about the financial collapse that I went through in 2017. But the details of that is not what's important today. Because through the process that I stepped into with Unity, when I stepped through the doors in 2001, I realized this was my spiritual home. It's been my spiritual home since then. And what draws me back here is that we're a community that assists each other in finding ways of processing this old stuff that's holding us back. If it's not holding us back, we don't need to do anything with it. But when it holds us back and we can feel it, we know it, we don't know what to do. When I didn't know what to do in my own, I needed to reach out. I reached out to therapists and energy workers. I reached out to people here. I took the classes. I've done the practices, so that as I stand here today, I am not a prisoner of my past, as I was at one time. My beautiful sister sitting here, she knows how I lived in the prison of that past. I just got tired of it. I eventually said, I'm not going to stay a victim of my own life. I have experienced victimization. I have been a victimizer in my own way, out of my own resolved hurt, and I just decided I had enough. And so as I cycle in and out of remembering who I am, and then forgetting, and rising and then collapsing down, I have people in my world, in Unity and elsewhere, that assist me, and I get to assist them in return. We are in a relationship of sacred reciprocity. And so this journey was about coming home to my own true divine nature, and then being able to share that out there. And as wherever it came up with Katie, perhaps, seeing people on the street, I started having this practice of seeing people going in my mind, hi God, hi God. I hadn't been on the bus for quite some years, and a few years ago I needed to take the bus downtown a couple of times. I didn't want to pay the parking. And I noticed how wonderful it was to sit in that bus and everyone getting on that bus. I would notice if I had a little judgment about them, because I got a human ego going on, and I would notice what I was noticing. If I was judging their dress or their hair or whatever, I would just allow, oh, hello, judger. And then I would look at the person and I'd consciously say, hello, God. Oh, God, thank you for showing yourself to me today. What I found on the other side of these adversities, when I stopped and was still and allowed myself to connect to and know my own true divine nature, I could feel and know I was going to be all right no matter what. And I was going to be all right because at the center of me is, as I know there is at the center of each one of you, a strength, a resiliency, a resourcefulness, a wisdom born of the very experiences that you have lived, that have allowed you to open up to the love that you are, to deepen your compassion for yourself and for others, and a passion for life that is untouched by current or past human circumstances. And we all have this place inside of us, this place of spirit, this place of true knowing. And it is vital to our well-being as individuals, in relationships, in communities, in organizations, that we connect to and listen to this spirit within, the Christ spirit, the divine mind, the divine heart, not just when we're in crisis, but in all aspects of our life. Honing our practice allows us to live this truth, into this truth more and more in each of our days. And as we have this practice, when we fall down, we can get up faster, or we'll have the wisdom to know when to stay down for a while before we get up. It's that commitment to a practice of coming into the way of the heart, the way of love, rather than the way of disconnection and dissatisfaction with life. We get to anchor our truth into our physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and energetic body. And today we're going to practice this listening. This Whitestone ceremony is a rite of passage into a new beginning, a fresh start. It's a sacred journey, an opportunity to connect and listen within. As described in the words of Katie, learn how to be still and listen to that which Spirit will say to you through the intuitional part of your being. The light that you so crave will come out of the deep silence and become manifest to you from within yourself, if you will but keep still and look for it from that source. The writer of the book of Revelation speaks of those who conquer or are overcoming, which means those who are moving forward with faith and overcoming the challenges that they have in the real circumstances of their life, and being receptive to the highest and the best, even in the midst of those circumstances. To those, a new name is given, a new sense of life, a new sense of self. During the Whitestone ceremony, what will come to you is a spiritual name or identity, a spiritual name that has been decreed just for you. This is a naming of yourself, or a renaming of your life for this coming year that we call 2020 on our calendars of time. It's a kind of christening, you might say, with a new name, a new sense of identity. And true christening means Christ finding. And we do not speak of the Christ that was in one man. We believe that the Christ essence is alive and well in each one of us. This new name may be a title. It may be a new authentic state or quality of living, of being. We're told in the Bible that God's name came to Moses as I am that I am. And so you may want to choose to start with I am, and then write your new name, your new title, your new identity, which symbolizes and expresses the highest and best in your life, your true identity. You might say, I am understanding, I am healthy, I am love, I am a writer, I am a teacher. Let it be revealed from the secret place, the sacred place, I prefer to call it, of the Most High inside of you. No one can know it but your own sacred self. And if you don't get your new name immediately, just stay with it and know that it will come. And for some of you, it may not come today. You might take a blank white stone home with you and sit in your own sacred silence at home or out in nature and receive that. So there's no one right way. And when the stones are passed out, it's actually going to be passed out now by our helpers. Please do not write on the stone immediately. We have 27 felts, and so we have more than 27 people in the chair. So we're going to ask you to look at the number of people that are in your row, and if 2 or 3 people can share a felt, that would be lovely. So that means if you get your name first and you don't have the felt, you're just gonna have to keep sitting with it in love and focus and concentration until the felt is passed to you. And so you're not writing on the stone until the instructions come at a certain point. So notice, if something came to you and you want to write it down, well, that might be what you get at the end of the meditation. It might be that actual, it might not change. But I do invite you to let yourself go through the ritual process. The people who developed this process, we understand in Unity and other places that do ritual, the value of it. Ritual, ceremony, it helps our consciousness, subconscious and superconsciousness to get synced up and hooked up. So I invite you to exercise patience. And a reminder that this is a sacred heart opening and a sacred revelation opportunity. And so we are going to start with our meditation song, followed by guiding insights and statements of affirmation and denial, which will be followed by 2 minutes of silence. And then at the end of the silence, Vivian will play some, I'm just looking here, just looking for my instructions. I was wondering, is she going to start that up again? At the end of the silence, you will write your name on your stone. And so as you get this stone in your hand, I invite you to hold it, understanding the symbology. Whatever it is that you bring here today, that you're in judgment of, that's heavy, that's hard, that is not love and above, are you willing to step forward and claim your freedom? Even a little bit? Maybe you can't claim your freedom all today. We're process people. We're in process, we're in progress. And so you may not be able to step forward 100%. Can you step forward and claim your freedom 1%? That is a start, right? If I change my direction today, if I was looking at a protractor and I changed the direction of my life 1% in 10 years, I'm going to be in quite a different destination if I just change 1 degree. So there's no need to try and contort yourself into something that this ceremony is kind of demanding of you that you're not ready for. What are you ready for? What are you willing to say yes to on the other side of this meditation? Are you willing to allow yourself to be released from any of your self-imposed prisons, like the Roman prisoners were given their freedom? We're going to join together in singing our opening meditation song, I Am Opening, and then I will take you into the meditation.
I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. We are opening. Our hearts are ready to receive. We are opening.
I am opening. I invite you to drop down down from your brain mind to your heart mind as you hold your stone, feeling its texture and its weight. Connect the brain mind and the heart mind together. And thank your brain and its intellectual nature and problem-solving abilities for being a faithful servant to your sacred heart mind. Breathing more fully in and more completely out. Give thanks for your breath of life. Breathe as though your heart and lungs work together as one unit, expanding them on the in-breath as one unit, emptying them together on the out-breath. Consciously feel the stone with your hands. Notice the different textures of the stone. You might notice a roughness on one side of the stone and a smoothness on the other side where you will write your name. You give thanks that we can choose to release ourselves from old ways of thinking, that we can choose as free will beings to release ourselves from limiting ways of expressing our faith and our creative life force. We can choose release from the old, outdated contracts born of the sense of separation from our source, from others, and from the planet. Bringing even more of your awareness to your heart and your breath of life. Become receptive to that which wants to reveal itself to you, through you. Go within now to the secret place of the Most High, to your own secret, sacred garden within your own sacred heart space. Perhaps walking your own beautiful labyrinth to the very center of your sacred garden. Being with the God, the source, the divine of your understanding, allow yourself to truly and fully be in your sacred space. Feel the calmness and the peace as you come into the conscious presence of pure love. Immersed in the presence of divine light and love, in the presence of your own true divine nature, affirm to yourself, I am free. It is my divine birthright to claim my clean slate, and therefore I claim it now. This moment of deciding to choose my freedom, this is a new beginning, a new day. I see and know myself walking out of bondage, a free expression of God. I see and know myself in a God way, unique, beautiful, handsome, lovable. I learn the lessons that I need to learn from my life experience, and I gather the wisdom gifts of these very experiences so that I can and I am moving forward as a free person this very day. I know my holiness, which means I know my divine wholeness. In the embodiment of this knowing that is beyond mere knowledge, I can and I do consciously release all that no longer serves my highest good. I can and I do consciously go forward in a direction aligned with my higher knowing and my soul essence. I choicefully align my ego will with the divine will for my life. I consciously release limitations of compulsive habits that have been holding me captive. I deny their power over me, and I purposefully nourish and nurture my soul, my body, my mind in the sacredness of my practices. I am a radiating center of divine life. I am sustained from within, and I feel a renewed peace of mind. I am divinely guided. I am free. I am a clean slate. In the silence we're about to enter, Spirit within me, reveal my new name, my primary energy signature for this year of 2020. I am open. I am receptive. I will listen for my new name, and at the end of the silence, I will declare it by writing it on the stone. And here we are now, our 2 minutes of silence. If you have received a name, I invite you to be with the energy of that. Feel it. If you have not yet received, I invite you to stay open and receptive and know that in divine timing and order, you will receive your new name. Thankfulness flows over us and through us as we have received our new message or name, or we are in expectancy and open to receive it at the right and perfect time. Along with this revelation comes the power and guidance to achieve that which is for our highest good and the highest good of all that we are here to be in relationship with in 2020. We take the initiative to commit to consciously making time to create sacred space in our lives during this year of 2020 in ways that are meaningful individually, in relationships, in communities. For we know that it's in this sacred space that transformation occurs. It's through this act of conscious opening to and being in the sacred silence and listening to that sacred voice, the Christ within, that we empower ourselves, creating a sense of freedom. I invite you to look what you have just written on your stone, or that white space that is holding the opening for the name to be revealed, and to be with this new name, this new identity, and you, beloved, are free to live life as the unique and magnificent expression of the divine that you truly be. And you may choose to share this new name when the service is over with people who are here or people in your world, or you might choose to carry it in silence, in a confidentiality with yourself throughout the year. Whatever you choose is so right and perfect. Ready to claim your new identity, whether you know it or not? Who's willing? Beautiful. Enjoy the journey of getting to know yourself and your new identity. And Vivian and the band are going to give us another song so we can really embody what you've just experienced for yourself.